Hello students, in this video, let us understand the mechanism of evolution. We are aware that the variations inherited from one generation to another over a long period of time will result in evolution. So, to know clearly, evolution is a naturally occurring, slow, continuous, and irreversible process of change. Going ahead, let us understand an illustration to look at some consequences of variations in an attempt to explain how evolution occurs. Consider a group of 12 red beetles and assume that they live in bushes with green leaves. They undergo sexual reproduction and consequently generate variations. Now imagine a large number of beetles were eaten up by crows and hence fewer are available for reproduction. Moving forward, we will consider the following situations and understand the mechanism of evolution. In the first situation, let us assume that some beetles develop color variation during sexual reproduction. One beetle acquires green color instead of red. When the green beetle reproduces, it passes the green color to its offspring. Crows were not able to see the green beetles on green leaves, and hence, they were not predated. But the progeny of red beetles continued to be predated by crows because they could be easily seen. Hence, only green beetle survived and was naturally selected over the red beetles, and this selection was exerted by crows. Natural selection is thus directing the evolution of the beetles. Green beetles got adapted to an environment much better, and they became more common due to their survival advantage and got naturally selected. In the second situation, suppose another color variation occurs in beetles of the original population, which were red, and a blue-colored beetle arises accidentally in one generation in this population. As it expands, there are a few blue beetles, but most of them are red. In the predatory aspect, crows see both blue and red-colored beetles on green leaves and eat them. For instance, if an elephant comes by and stamps and kills most of the red beetles, while some blue beetles survive. Now, there occurs accidental survival of blue beetles, and the frequency of their genes increase, directing towards the evolution of blue beetles. So, in this situation, the color change gave no survival advantage. The survival of more blue beetles in the population changed the color characteristic from normal red to blue over a period of time. In small populations, accidents can change the frequency of some genes in a population, even if these give no survival advantage to the possessors. This phenomenon is called genetic drift, and it provides diversity without any adaptations. Let us discuss the third situation. As the original red beetle population starts expanding by sexual reproduction, a plant disease spreads, resulting in decreasing the amount of leaf material in the bushes. Expanding population of beetles is now poorly nourished. Consequently, the average weight of newly produced beetles decreases compared to what it used to be. After some time, the plant disease is eliminated and more leaves of bushes are available as food for the beetle. So, the average weight of the beetles would again increase. While considering the third situation, there are two kinds of traits in every organism called inherited traits and acquired traits. The traits controlled by specific genes and passed on from one generation to another through germ cells are called inherited traits. Any alteration in the DNA will be passed down through germ cells to the progeny, resulting in variations in them. The traits which are gained during the lifetime are called acquired traits. These cannot be passed to the progeny, as these traits influence only somatic cells and not the germ cells. Therefore, even if some of the generations of beetles are low in weight because of starvation, this trait cannot be inherited by the progeny over generations. Other examples are the removal of the tail, in consecutive generations of mice. Do tailless mice have tailless progeny? No, because the removal of tail cannot change the genes in the germ cells of the mice. The genetic material of the germ cells carries genes for the formation of the tail in mice. Hence, we have understood the illustration explaining the mechanism of evolution. Let us summarize. When inherited from one generation to another, over a long period of time, variations will result in evolution. Evolution is a naturally occurring, slow, continuous, and irreversible process of change. Natural selection directs the evolution, during which better adapted organisms survive. Inherited traits are controlled by specific genes and are passed on from one generation to another through germ cells. Acquired traits are gained during the lifetime and cannot be passed on to the next generation.